Hello everyone, this is Marcio Cardoso here again with a video on educational reform. The topic that I'm going to touch into, the subtopic of educational reform I'm going to be touching with this video is going to be school choice. And kind of what it means now, what I think it should mean, and why it could really improve our educational system. So, school choice. Right now, when you ask someone what school choice means, they will tell you that it means you have the option to choose where you want to go to school. Do you want to go to your nearby local public school? Do you want to go to potentially a charter school or a private school? And that's kind of what it means. The people who are pushing school choice right now tend to be people who are not pro public education. I don't want to say they're anti-education, but they're not for public education. They're looking to promote charter schools, particularly privately run charter schools, for-profit charter schools. And the way they make not pro-choice, let's say pro-choice, different topic altogether. The way they make school choice work is they say, hey, you're a good kid. You seem like a good kid. Or they go to the parents. Your kid seems like a good kid. What if we give you the option to send your kid to a different school? We'll create what's known as a voucher program where we'll give you a certain amount of money and you can use that money to go spend to go to this certain charter school so you can, go to a different school that's better than the school you're at. And the whole point of promoting this, the whole reason why these charter school people are promoting this is they want to send kids into their charter schools, which will hopefully attract more attention, which will hopefully bring up and drive up enrollment. These people then can make more money and they can give their kids whatever education they want. But you got to be careful with charter schools. Some are run very, very well, so I'm not here to bash them. But there are some who are not run well because they're out of the public educational system. And some people might think, well, that's good. Well, you got to be careful. Quality of education only goes so far as the quality of teaching. And a lot of for-profit private charter schools, the quality of teaching is not as strong because they don't pay the teachers usually that much money. And they can be very stringent with their demands. And teachers can be easily let go like that. And why would a teacher want to go to a place where they can be let go like that as opposed to going to a place where they have greater job security? And usually you get that at a public school. Therefore, the fact that you don't necessarily have the best quality of teaching, and believe me, I've seen several charter schools where those teachers, they don't know what they're doing. They're just coming out of these programs. They're very inexperienced. Tends to lead to the fact that the quality of education is not the best. But that's not what I mean by school choice. And again, as I said in my previous video, I want to keep this more about public schools and not worry too much about charter schools because I'm not really trying to bash them because there are some that are doing a very good job. We don't have to eliminate charter schools in my opinion. They can be an option for certain people. But what I mean by school choice is this. I think people, students, parents, should be given options to choose which public school they want to go to. Not choosing to leave public school to charter school. I'm talking about staying within public schools, but choosing which ones. But who should be allowed to choose? Because if you allow everybody to choose, eventually someone's going to get the last choice, and usually the person with the last choice doesn't get a choice at all. I believe we should have a school choice system based on socioeconomic status, first and foremost. That means kids coming from poor backgrounds, single family, single income households, or single parent, single income households, should be allowed to choose what school they want to go to. And they can take a look and see, what are the stronger schools? What are the schools that are not so strong? What schools might do best for me? And they get to make that choice accordingly. And then the higher the income status, then that person chooses, and so on and so forth. So the people with the highest income status would get the least choice. People might say, well, that's not fair for the people at the very top of the income chain. Well, you'll start to notice that as you get closer and closer to the top of the people of the income chain, those are people that, one, might have the option to choose to leave public education and go to a private school. So be it. I'm not advocating for the abolition of private schools. If you want that option, okay. I also look at it as this. If you come from a family that's upper middle class, upper class, two parents, two incomes, you're at a huge, huge advantage that someone from a lower income will not get. Take, for example, homework or a big project that you need to work on. If you come from a two-parent, higher income household, and you need assistance on that project, or you need assistance on that homework assignment, or you need assistance to prepare for that test, to study for that test, there's a good chance that one or both of your parents will get home from work not long after you get home from school. There's a good chance that because they have a higher income, they probably have a higher educational level themselves, and therefore they did well in school, and therefore they can actually assist you with the work because they'll look at that and go, oh yeah, I remember doing this, or oh yeah, I could figure this out. And you can get that assistance that's necessary. And you better believe me, that is huge. What students learn in school, yeah, it's all the same, right? They interact with each other, they're learning from their teachers, but when they go home, that's the key. Are they getting that reinforcement of education at home? And from an upper income household where both parents are in the house and they get home early enough and they actually can help you out, you're going to get that reinforcement. You're going to get the parents that say, hey, I want you to do well in school because I did well in school, which led me to the good education, which led me to get a good job or a good paying job. Then you look at someone from a lower income status. Good chance, not a guarantee, but it's a good chance that there's only one income. There's only one parent. There's many points where families where you have two parents and two incomes, but if it's lower income, they're not making as much money, which means there's a good chance they're working longer hours, which means they're coming home later. It also means they have a lower paying job, which means they probably got a lower standard of education. The amount that you get paid with your job usually correlates to the amount of education you receive. So lower income means you probably got a lower level of education. So even if the parents are home, they may not be able to help you with the assignment because it may be something that was just above their level themselves. And that happens. And therefore, they're not able to reinforce, they're not able to assist you as much. And that can easily lead to that lower income student falling behind a little bit. Believe me, I was lucky. I had two parents. They had good, solid paying jobs. And in my mother's case, she got herself a pretty good education. And she was able to assist me with homework or studying. And she definitely reinforced the need to do well in school. That, hey, you better do well in school or else you will be grounded or you will be punished or this is what's going to happen. And that's not always there for the lower income families. And that's why I think they should be allowed to determine which school they want to go to first. Because as we find out, the highest performing schools, the strongest schools, typically have greater programs or stronger programs that can assist students after school. At a better school, the student can maybe stay at an after school program and get that necessary assistance. At a stronger school, a student can maybe get a higher quality of teaching, and that lower income student might need that higher quality of teaching to compensate for the fact that they're not getting that reinforcement at home. The higher income student, it's probably not going to matter what school they go to, because, and trust me, I've been and I've worked at schools that are considered lower level. The quality of education there, though it might not be the same as it is at a higher level, you're still getting a form of education. There's still good teachers, even at quote unquote lower performing schools. There's still good teachers out there. Very good ones, in my opinion. And the higher income students, if they get that education, even at a quote unquote lower performing school or a lesser school, they're going to be fine because then they'll get that reinforcement at home. Parents are going to help them out, and they're going to do more than okay. So in my opinion, it is critical that we have school choice based on socioeconomic status. Students of lower income deserve to get first dibs on where they want to go. Some people might say, well, shouldn't you base it off of race maybe? You know, there's people out there who think that school choice should be determined by Black and Latino students getting to pick what school they want to go to first. Well, again, I think it's better to do it by socioeconomic status because for me, it's all about that reinforcement from home. An African American family that's of upper income is more likely, in my opinion, to reinforce education, to promote it, to help you out at home than a lower income white family. The reason why so many African Americans and Latinos are falling behind with the achievement gap is, by and large, you look at incomes in this country, Blacks and Latinos tend to have a much lower income than whites and Asians. So that's why I think school choice should be based on socioeconomic status first. I think by allowing this, you'll allow things to be a little bit better. You'll allow those students of lower incomes to play catch up a little bit. And I think that'll go a long way towards helping our educational system, fixing it, and helping to close slowly the achievement gap. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.